So I suppose we should actually say something about what the play is in fact about. So it's three sisters and a brother, right?
Yes, it is. and an old nurse and a fellow that comes in from the outside, and I mean it's really about everybody. I think.
So what is? Can you, Lucy, tell me a little bit about the situation? Like what is the play? What happens here? Without giving too much away.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of what I was just saying. I mean, I think it's a meeting of a large, how many characters are there in the play? Is there 15?
13.
13? And each time any one of them speaks to each other or listens to each other, something happens, you know, and that's sort of what it's about as well. But I mean, I suppose generally, more basically, these three women and their brother are in this sort of outpost, much sort of like, I don't know,
Fort McMurray.
Like Fort McMurray, I guess, exactly, because it is military. There's sort of a military base there, and that's why they were brought there with their father, who was a general, and he's dead now, but they kind of ended up getting stuck there, and it's been a year since he died, and but they were raised in Moscow, and what they want to do is get back to Moscow, where they believe life is full of richness and glamour and love and fulfillment. And this is a bit about their struggle, or well, it's a lot about their struggle to either come to terms with the possibility that they won't get there, or to find that that fulfillment where they actually are, and kind of stop and realize that you can, you know, living your life beyond, you know, outside of what you're actually living is such a horrendous thing to do. I mean, to kind of go, to wish your time away and wish your life away, you know, when in actual fact, if you just live right in the moment, how full that can be, and sometimes how devastating, and sometimes how glorious, and so, you know, because that's what life is about, but to actually kind of engage with it rather than disengage. Sure. I think something like that.
That's great.
Something like that.
That's great.
You've both got a history with this play. You've been in it before, right? Martha, you played Olga, right?
I've played both Olga and Masha.
Oh, have you? So what? I mean, has that given you any particularly different insight into directing the play, or do you see the play differently now that you're directing it? Any thoughts about how you have seen this piece?
I don't know. I played Masha before Lucy was even born. It was so long ago. And I played Olga, which seemed to me to be fairly recently, but it's turned out to be 1976. So even that was quite a while ago.
What was this yesterday? Did Star Wars just come out?
So I guess what I felt when I picked it up again was that it's in my bones somewhere. We're not doing the same, obviously, adaptation that we did with John Hirsch, or that I did when I did it before in Winnipeg, of all places. So this is a different adaptation. It's a different Susan Coyne's point of view, and I've read now all the adaptations I've been able to get my hands on, and there are, I don't know, certain things about it, I guess, that I think stick inside me in a way that I hadn't even realized until we started rehearsals. And then I thought, oh yes, that feels right somehow. That feels comfortable. And I have to say, agog with this cast. I have the most amazing three sisters the world has ever seen. They're all infinitely better than not only I, but actually any of the three sisters that I worked with have ever been, and they are magical and magical together. So it's such a treat. I have a phenomenal cast. And Tom McCamus plays the man who comes in from outside. That's pretty dishy.
Oh yeah, those men who come in from the outside who kind of stir up a certain amount of trouble, or at least one of them. Which brings me, of course, to you, Lucy. Masha, you've played this part before.
Yeah, quite a long time ago.
You must have been 10.
No.
So
88, 87, I can't remember actually.
Well, coming back to it now, I mean, how do you feel differently about it? I mean,
I think the thing about Chekhov personally is for me, and I thought it then, even though I was really inexperienced but had been given a great opportunity to explore it Chekhov for the first time. And to me, I mean, I was gloriously happy then, doing it then, and how blissful it felt. And I'm blissfully happy doing this and feel glorious inside of it. And I think part of that, apart from Martha's ability to, I don't know what, I mean, some really extraordinary sparking this play in a way I think it's not been sparked, certainly in my experience before. But to me, Chekhov is like being at a spa. Like it's like an acting spa for an actor. I mean, I truly believe that, and you can have everything from the mud bath to getting your nails done, and it all matters, and it all just makes you feel. He just loved actors, and obviously he did. He married an actress,
yes.
But he obviously must have been. He could have been an actor. I think. I mean, it's great.
Wow. Well, actors love Chekhov, right?
Yes.
I mean, partly it's because so much of what happens sort of between the words, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's subtext, right?
Well, we had something the other day when Tom McCamus comes into the house for the first time and the sisters are meeting him. He's clearly a man for the ladies, and Tom has, more than any actor I've ever seen before, that eye, and he has a little look around the room, and the maid that brought him in, obviously he's been flirting with on the way up the stairs, and so she giggles and she takes his coat off. And yesterday, for the first time I didn't tell them to do this. Two of the maids up in the dining room area, which is the delight of the Patterson, of course, because you can see all over the stage, were looking at Tommy when he was talking to you, I have to say, and kind of giggling and putting their hands over their faces. And then one of them took the other one and pushed her into the kitchen. And I thought, now that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. They built that whole little moment out of the fact that the first maid came and brought him into the room. And you can do things like that in Chekhov, and have to, really.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.